Hey everybody, Mais Karibyan, another episode that I prepared for all my followers. Thank you everybody for, following and supporting my channel. Those of you who've been following my episodes, it's mainly about financial services, insurances, and real estate. And many times I have very important guests in my podcast because I love giving back information, especially from people who are very professional in what they do. And today's guest is a very unique, very special individual for me. I met him probably 5+ years ago. We kept the relationship growing time to time. We hang out, leverage each other knowledge, and we decided to do a great podcast together because this guy is the most probably powerful agent when it comes to commercial real estate, specifically in Glendale area, which I'm very excited to introduce you guys. And my guest is Karlo Markarian. Karlo, how are you?
Good, Mike John. How are you?
Finally, we did it.
Yeah, I know. We've been trying to do this, 2 months now,
2
right?
months, yeah.
We went back and forth.
I'm not surprised. People in your situation being so busy, I'm sure it's hard to get hold of you, but I really appreciate that you finally came. I know you're a busy guy, so I appreciate it.
We've been trying, like I said, 2 months. We went back and forth, and a couple of times I had, as you know, we just started our own firm, so it's been, it's a lot of work, right? A lot of running. But I appreciate everything that you're doing. I follow you all the time.
Thank you,
I'm following your success, and this is what we're all about, right? We're here for sharing that knowledge and triggering more young people to get into what we do.
Well, Karlo, I'm more excited to kind of learn from you because I know you've been doing this 3 decades. And,
Long time.
memories come back.
Yeah. I remember when I just got my license, 29, 30 years ago.
Wow. Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to learn wisdom from you. And I know whatever you explain, share your knowledge, whoever watches, especially if they're in a real estate in our field, they're going to pick up a lot of good, valuable information. Why don't you a little bit go back and start your background? How do you got involved in real estate?
Yeah, good question. Obviously, you got to have a bit of a passion. The passion comes within what I'm a high believer of. Essentially, everybody is here to do something that they were born to do. You cannot get into something that you're gonna do but unlove. It's not about it. You got to have the passion. So my passion started off at a very early young age when probably 1990, 91, maybe just around late 80s. My father was a developer, one of the early pioneers of luxury developments in Toronto, Canada. So I picked up a lot of the industry trade and, the connections and the mentality of how to be around people. From my father, because he was a developer, we had just actually moved to Toronto from France. So I picked up a lot of the, the industry trades and industry knowledge from him. The passion started off from there. So I'm going to say, 1991? That's when it started.
Is your dad still involved in the industry? Or
we're always involved in real estate. Yeah, I mean,
nice.
I like to say.
Is he still your coach?
Well, yeah. I mean, he's my. You know what? Now I'm become his coach. Now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Because if I don't watch out, he's going to make some bad mistakes, bad investments.
All right.
But yeah, and we've developed this passion for real estate. I mean, look, I think real estate, you could do anything that you want in life, right? But it's a proven fact that real estate it's still the number one
wealth making machine. Wow.
And somehow we're all related to the real estate. You could be on a ownership side. You could be on any type of real estate is always tied up to an individual.
Now, did you start it with commercial originally, or you moved to commercial later on?
So essentially, good question. No, I did not start in the commercial side. So in fact, tell you a little bit of a background. I started off in the residential side. Obviously, I was involved actually in the real estate industry in Dubai at a very, very, very early stage. I moved to Dubai in the early 2000s. Just went out there for a visit. I decided that the next real estate boom, will be in Dubai. So I had this vision of Dubai where I said, you know what, I'm gonna move. At that time, I was living in Toronto. I moved to Dubai. We started doing a lot of investments. We were one of the early investors in the Dubai market.
Wow.
And at that time, I started developing a lot of passion for commercial. But obviously, every part of the world, the real estate industry involves
Yeah.
in a different way.
Yeah.
But I did not start in commercial. I did start in the residential.
Yeah.
In Dubai, I was obviously involved in a lot of the high-end luxury products, penthouses,
Yeah.
a lot of these new villas that they're building on Palm Jumeirah
Wow.
and on the different islands. So we were there when the whole
Dubai just started booming.
Dubai started. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, when people are going to Dubai now and they're seeing what they're seeing, we were there at the early stage where I saw literally a brand new city develop within 3 years, 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah, it's an incredible vision that they've got. And if everybody had the same vision as the leadership of UAE, Dubai,
Do you think?
incredible.
I'm sure there's a lot of opportunities still in Dubai.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
still growing.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think Dubai's growth, it comes within their leadership.
Yeah.
Like I said, they have this vision to be the next, big city, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you got to look at it. New York, London, some of these big cities globally, they're in a position, they've been around for 200, 300 years, where Dubai is only 25, 30 years, right?
Yeah, that is
So
booming. Yeah.
it's booming. It's central hub. It's
Yeah,
a central
yeah.
hub. We're very much still involved. We have investment properties in Dubai. We have families in Dubai, so we're very much involved in the Dubai market. Yeah.
Now, I'm not experienced in commercial. I mainly sold residential.
You're a good agent then.
Yeah. I mainly sold residential. Now, what is the main difference between commercial and residential real estate?
Good question. What is the main difference between residential and commercial? Obviously, you're going to hear a lot of people talk about, residential is a lot of emotions and commercial, there's no emotions, it's more numbers. I'm a completely, I have a different
Point of view on that?
point of view on that, because look, whenever there's monetary exchanges, there's always going to be emotions. So it doesn't. People always like, oh, what's the difference? Is it because it's less emotions? It's easier. You don't do these open houses.
Yeah.
It's got nothing to do with that. The biggest difference is that essentially the people that you're dealing with on the commercial side of the industry are a lot more, I want to say, analytical. It's all about the numbers. Definitely, it's always about the numbers. If the numbers make sense, they're going to do the deal. If the numbers doesn't make sense, they're going to walk away.
But type of buyer's mindset is different on
Much
commercial.
different.
Yeah.
And within the commercial side of the business, you also have different brackets. You've got people that are in the commercial industry to acquire to be long-term holders.
Yeah.
Then you've got the ones that are in there to do the quick
exit,
strategy, buy and exit strategy, right?
Yeah.
So the difference is obviously it's the figures are much higher depending what type of assets you're going to focus on. But it's different in a way that obviously you don't do the open houses during the week and all that stuff. But the numbers are much bigger. Your investors, your sophisticated investors that you're going to deal with are much more savvier because of the numbers. Yeah.
Now I want to ask you a little bit basic question. Some of the people who's going to watch this, maybe they're new in real estate. Some of them, they're already been in it.
Yeah.
Some of them, they're making good money. Some of them, they're struggling. What it takes to be a good real estate agent?
What it takes to be good, you got to be professional.
Know your stuff.
Yeah, you got to know your stuff, and you cannot expect to get into this industry and expect to be in a way that, first of all, I think a lot of the real estate industry has been portrayed to be easy because people are watching all these.
I don't think it's easy business.
It's not. You get to understand how hard, challenging it is once you're in it. But when you're outside, you're thinking, oh, look, I'm just going to get a license.
It's just showing a house and just
I'm watching, all these reality shows from New York and selling Sunset. I mean, they portrayed the whole industry to be a lot less. It's very much easy. It's not. What was the question again?
To be a good real estate agent, yeah.
You gotta be consistent. You gotta be dedicated. You gotta be in this full time.
Full time.
You have to be in this full time. A lot of individuals have come to me over the last 20 years. Oh, I want to do this, but I also want to. You know what? If you're gonna, yeah, I don't want to be, I don't want to say any bad word, but you cannot wiggle this business. You
Yeah,
can't
yeah,
just be in it. Oh, I'm doing this to be able to do two transactions and still be involved with other
yeah,
industries or
yeah,
be working at a whatever
yeah,
at a full time job. You have to be in this full time. Be dedicated. Be consistent. Wake up every morning. Know your numbers. Know what's going on in the country, in the world, and just be consistent. That's what
yeah,
it's all
yeah.
about. Yeah.
Now, how's Carlos' schedule
Oh,
Monday to Friday? What time you
so
wake up, and generally, how do you move your business?
good question. If so, I wake up around 4:30 every morning.
Wow.
Yeah, so pretty much within the first 30 minutes, what I like to do: get up, have my coffee,
And
and
I gave you a coffee before we started.
you did. Yeah, that was my third coffee already. So that was my
All right,
third
cool.
coffee. Thank you. So I'm usually up. What I like to do first thing in the morning is always I get on CoStar. So if a lot of viewers on your show don't know what CoStar is, essentially CoStar, what we call is the encyclopedia of commercial real estate globally. So I like to get on that, read everything that there is to read that's related to my business that I'm involved
Yeah,
in right
yeah,
now to see what's going on. Who are the movers? Who are the shakers? What's
yeah,
going on?
yeah, yeah.
That's my first thing in the morning that I do, and then obviously, the daily errands, right? Waking up my son, waking up my wife because
Yeah.
I tend to wake up everyone. I'm the alarm, right? And then just start off from there,
Yeah.
and then again, as we start off, obviously we've just launched One West Group, which I'm really, really, really excited about.
Yeah.
I'm proud of, and just getting onto that, making sure all of our advisors that are on board right now
Yeah.
are going to be equipped. So that starts right from
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
morning, right? You got to make sure that everybody's on board, everybody
Yeah.
is accountable. Get into the office. I think I show up to the office every
Do
single
you
day.
still do cold calling?
Yeah, I do.
You still do after 30
Yeah,
years.
yeah, yeah.
That's
If
awesome,
you don't
man.
prospect, you're not going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, a new agent getting into this, a new advisor getting into the into the business.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's going to be a lot more prospecting that needs to be done. How
Yeah.
many?
Yeah.
My philosophy, and people are going to say you have to make at least 75 to 100 calls a day,
5 days a week.
5 days a week, sometimes six.
I can't believe some agents, the whole week goes by and I ask them how many calls you did. I think I did like 10. That's crazy
Well,
number.
Mike John, this is the reason why this industry has the highest turnover, right?
Yeah.
If you don't put in the time,
You're going to quit.
you're going to be out of this business. You're so before even you get into this business, like I said, you have to speak to the people that are doing it and they're successful and let them tell you, not sugarcoat, oh, the money's great,
The
the
good, the
splits.
bad, and the ugly.
Yeah. What are the splits? What are the fees? It's not about the splits. It's nothing.
Pure work ethic.
You have to have the work ethic and be in this for long term,
Yeah.
right? So if you're not dedicated, at after 30 years of being in this business and prospecting, obviously my prospecting is not the same as somebody getting into this business
Yeah.
right now.
It's different, but you still stick to the basics.
You got to do it.
Yeah.
You got to pick up that phone. You got to go to your networking events. You got to surround yourself with the right people. It's all about having a good circle of people around you.
Yeah. And I see you do a lot of events. You're good at it. And, thanks for inviting me. A couple of them
did.
I came. I enjoyed it. So now we're both Armenians.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, are Armenians good investors or?
Yeah, of course. I mean, obviously, some of them always want to learn new trades, especially younger Armenian generations. They want to learn like what is a good investor? How do you start investing? As a culture, as Armenians, I mean, it's proven.
We want to start big, but the best advice is start small, grow your way.
Yeah. Rome wasn't built in a day, right?
Yeah.
It takes time.
Yeah.
It takes time.
Now, what do you like to do outside of business, if you have time?
Work. These days, actually, for the last 6 months to a year, I'm not doing a whole lot. I mean,
you're building the company.
Yeah, I'm just building the company right now. Our vision, my vision, and the vision that I want everybody to be, in my tribe, in my circle, in the future of One West Group is to be aligned, to be in this together. So it's taking a lot of my time, which I'm enjoying it very much.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's got its daily challenges, ups and downs, but there's a reason why we're doing this.
Yeah.
There's a reason. So if you see that big vision at the end of the tunnel, you're going to keep going. Doesn't matter how old you are.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how old you are.
Talking about age, are you thinking to retire or do you have age?
No. There's no retirement. There's, especially in our culture, right? You know, like there's certain things that are never going to, if you love what you do.
Why retire?
What are you going to retire for? Yeah, you can slow down.
Yeah.
You can slow down. But what is retirement? I can't picture myself today waking up and doing nothing.
If your bank account right now has 100 million, would you retire?
No, I'm still involved. What am I doing? I'm watching my money.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm not retired.
Yeah.
If I have $100 million or $200 million of assets, liquidity, money, whatever, somebody's got to watch that money, right? If somebody else is watching your money, you have to watch that guy. So you're not retired, right?
And I believe that entrepreneur-minded people,
Yeah.
if they retire, I think they'll get older and sick faster.
Yeah. I mean, it's the daily challenge, right?
Yeah.
It's the daily challenge.
Our minds are wired to always work.
Yeah. I mean, and that's what makes it, like, going back to your question, Mike, what is a good professional realtor, real estate agent, whatever you want to call it, is the one that has that passion, the one that keeps going, the one that's never going to quit. Doesn't matter ups, downs. I mean, it's part of any business, right? Not just real estate. I mean, look, the insurance, the
Any industry, it's crazy.
There's always ups and downs.
Yeah.
But you can't just fold your hand and say, you know what? Oh, I'm leaving. I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
When the market is good, I'll come back. It doesn't work that way.
You can't. When the market is bad,
It's
you
even
gotta
good
go.
way.
Yeah, you gotta go much harder, Mike. Much harder. And I'm a high believer of you gotta go all in.
Yeah.
A couple of months ago, actually 3 months ago, I was talking to someone. They called me. This is off topic. They said, I've tried everything. What are you doing? So how many calls are you making? And he's like, yeah, I'm doing about 7 calls a day. I said, all right, what's your farming?
One day a week.
I mean, yeah, exactly. I said, well, are you doing any type of like other types of prospecting, like maybe mailers or residential agent? Yeah, we tried once. We sent out, 400, 300 postcards. It never worked. I'm like,
Stop.
just stop. Just stop. This is not for you.
Yeah.
It's not for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's if you're gonna do it, go all in.
Yeah.
What was it? Nike, just do it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I heard this quote: if you want to be successful, do 90% opposite of what most people do. Just do the opposite.
Yeah.
You'll succeed.
Yeah, I know you're very much into different. I mean, I see you all the time. You're reading different authors' books and all that stuff. And if you look at the success of others, and you pick up here and there, and that's what it is. You got to go all in when people are out.
It's so funny. When COVID started, all the Uber drivers, they were sitting at home. And then sometimes I was going to appointments. I used Uber. And I asked these people, how's business? They're like, it's booming.
Yeah.
I don't take breaks. It's so many orders. This guy understood. They did the opposite of what most people. It's the same thing in our business.
Same.
When the market is tough, everyone quits. More business to those who stick around.
When the market is tough, that's how you become tougher, right?
Yeah.
If in 2020, 2021, everybody was doing incredible numbers, 40 million, 60 million. I made over $1 million. I mean, the rates were like at what, high 2s, low 3s.
Yeah.
But right now, over the last 16 months, 18 months, it hasn't been easy. There's a lot of challenges. So it's now
that you build.
Yeah, you're building.
And during the tough times, you build the database and you just...
Funny enough, last week I do a lot of these trainings, and especially at our office, we're doing a lot of like masterminds and networking. Some new advisors that have just joined us. I said, look, your database is going to be in the future. What you're trying to do, the focus is you're not going to do business with everyone.
Yeah.
You're not going to have everyone with you. You're not going to make everyone like you. You're not. You're not for everyone, and they're not for you either, right? So your database, essentially, as you progress in any industry, I don't care what you do, is you're going to shrink your database to a certain number of people that are going to be there to support you. You support them, and that's how you're going to win in this business.
Yeah.
Your database in the early stages of this industry is large,
Yeah.
but it will shrink eventually.
Yeah.
You're going to get to see who's loyal, who's appreciating the value, because it's all about value.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, as a closing, Karlo, what would you advise to people who are in this business as the beginners and people who've been in it for a while?
Yeah.
What would you
Yeah.
tell them?
Good question. What would I advise somebody that's getting into this business, right?
Yeah.
Especially right now with the way the market is challenging.
Yeah.
Learn as much as you can. You got to learn. First thing, you got to have a mentor. You got to have a mentor, especially on the commercial side. You got to have mentorship right from the early stages. If you don't build your foundations correctly,
Yeah.
you're going to fall. If you plant a tree today, right,
Yeah.
the roots are not
Yeah,
in
yeah.
place, what's going to happen in 10 years?
gonna
5
fall.
It's going to fall. So if you don't have that foundation built right from early stage, unfortunately, it's going to fall. You got to, you got to learn. You got to be coachable. You got to do, this is not a 9 to 5 business.
Yeah.
You got to wake up early, finish late, sacrifice, go out of your way 7 days a week. And that's my advice to a lot of the,
New agents.
not only just in our industry, any industry. It
Any
takes
business.
time. Any business. It takes time.
Yeah.
It takes time. When you look at successful business people, entrepreneurs in this world, they've all gone through the trenches. But unfortunately, what's happening right now, especially in the new generation that we live in, everything is so easy. People are like, "Oh my God, I don't know. I'm not into this, influencers
Yeah,
world,
yeah.
but this guy did 1.7 million views on Instagram. He's doing this much." It's because everybody's used to seeing this now. It's easy. They're making money. It's not. It's
That's not the reality.
It's
Yeah.
not the reality. Yeah. So that's exactly going back. The real estate industry has picked up this easy. Oh, it's not that hard. I'm just going to sell 4 homes, and I see it on selling Sunset, or I'm not going to name anyone, but they're making $500,000 by selling 1 house. Oh, you don't know where this guy came from. Everybody has a story. Everybody went through struggles.
Yeah.
If you don't go through the struggles, you're not going to know what's going to happen to you.
Yeah. Well, Karlo, I want to thank you for your time.
you. Thank you.
I really had a great conversation, and it's our first one, and I'm looking forward to do more.
Yeah, we're already planning.
Yeah, we're planning, and maybe we can do something, one of your deals as an example.
Yeah.
And you can, pick a scenario and say what's important, what happened, how do you close, how do you overcome the challenges through the process, and just go over that if you don't mind.
No, of course I don't. So one of my largest deals, obviously I've been involved in deals as large as 37 million for a single transaction.
Yes.
The one that I'm in right now started off at a stage where I closed on a property at $18 million. I was involved right from the beginning, where actually it came from a cold call.
Wow.
Going back
cold
to
call.
cold, yeah, it was a cold call late in the afternoon. There was back then my office was in Beverly Hills. It's about 4:30, 5 o'clock, 2018. I said, you know what? I'm not going to get on a 405 heading back up. Let me just make let me just make some calls. I'm doing some research.
Yeah.
And I was on actually Google Earth doing some, viewing what's happening in the downtown core market in LA.
Wow.
I looked up this site that's been sitting there, vacant.
Yeah.
So I called up the owner, picked up, and said, "Who are you?" Obviously we went back and forth. I said, "Look, what are you going to do with this?" He's like, "You know what? I'm going to build it." I said, "Look, if you were not to build it, what would you do?" He goes, "Well, I would sell it."
Yeah.
I said, "All right, how much?" He goes, what, 20, 21. I go, "Look, let me come see you." So anyways, this whole back and forth for 5 days, finally you realize that the site should be at around 18 million.
Yeah.
So we got on the contract, took 9 months. I represented the seller and the buyer. You always want to control.
Yeah.
I'm a high believer. You need to control your deals.
Yeah.
If you don't, it's going to be your mistake.
It's going to fall apart.
Yeah, it's going to fall apart. So we were involved right from the beginning, seller, buyer, and we closed on it 9 months later. It's over 200 apartment units that are coming up, and like I said, the professionalism, the patience. You're gonna have ups and downs, especially in commercial.
One phone call.
Yeah, one phone call.
Wow.
And you imagine one phone call. Obviously, I've done many of these calls. That's why we have, a huge network, tribe, whatever. But one phone call for anyone that's just starting off. Know your numbers. Know your mentor.
Can change your life.
Imagine that person that you've just contacted has this property which you've called on. It's 8 unit. That's his smallest asset in his portfolio. All of a sudden, he's got something 30 unit, 40 unit, 100 unit. His cousins, his network. Yeah. That's how it all starts. Be presentable. Walk the walk, talk the talk, be professional. Because one thing that it's not just for me, for anyone, your value is you.
Yeah.
People
they buy you first.
Well, look, people are, I want to make my logo this way. I want to make this, your brand, it's you walking into a function, you walking into office, you walking into,
that's 100%.
What it is. That's what it is. So I don't care about, fancy logos, and it's about you.
Yeah.
Talk the talk, walk the walk, be people's person. Have some character.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Well, Karlo, thank you again.
Thank you,
I really had a great time.
Thank you. This was great.
Yeah. So
I think I want to set up one of these.
Yeah. Hey, I'll help you anytime. You just give me a green light. Yeah.
Congratulations to everything that you're doing too.
Thank you.
Beautiful family.
Thank you very much. Thank you. All right, Karlo.
Thank you.
Well, thank you everybody for watching this episode. I appreciate all of you for supporting. Share in your pages, and I'll see you guys next time. Mais Karibyan. Take care.